week's episode is brought to you by Tabletop Backer Party on Facebook, which is the largest board game crowdfunding group on this side of the internet. Hello, fellow gamers. Welcome to I'd Back That Kickstarter with Gloryhound and
DrGloryhogg.
Today we're going to be talking about 3 lovely Kickstarters. One of them kind of fell through and got canceled, which I'm so sad about, but it will be back, so...
It was in too deep.
There's that. It got a little in too deep, and...
It happens.
You know, it decided to just stay the way and come back later.
Right, but it's just postponed. It's not like canceled forever.
Right.
They didn't like pull up shop.
I know, right?
Close.
That would be terrible. Oh, Petter says, Dr. Gloryhogg has hair?
I have lots of hair, Petter. Thank you. I have to dress fancy before my birthday. Ooh. I got to earn those Legos. I mean, come on.
David just got smartphone ink yesterday. Loved my first play. So, that's a good game.
I'm sad Greg isn't here because Greg is in love with smartphone ink.
He
will not shut up about it. And he bought it for, I'll say, above market price before the Kickstarter came out.
Before the Kickstarter, yeah.
He won't tell his wife how much he bought it for, but it was for more than it was worth, to say the least. And then the Kickstarter came out like 3 or 4 months later.
But since... Greg had it.
Yeah.
We've never gotten smartphone ink because of that. But now we can't even play with Greg right now. So, like, what the heck? But none on his back. That's true, Battlecry. That's true.
And you can count them. That's how few there are on my back.
Welcome to chat today. Hello, everybody. In chat, we talk directly to you guys. We like your opinions as we go through these Kickstarters.
Some of them, not battle cries.
Aww.
The opinions are out.
I like having a collective experience whenever we talk about Kickstarters. Because sometimes there's stuff that I'll end up missing, or maybe that you guys didn't notice about it, and we can converse back and forth about that. That's my favorite part of the show, is talking to everyone in chat.
I thought I was your favorite part of the show.
You're the favorite part of my home show.
Long time ago, she used to love me.
Oh my gosh, woo, my opinion must be in then. That's right, Petter. Everybody's opinion counts, okay?
Mostly.
Mostly. Wow. Wow. First up here we have Canopy. Oh my goodness. I got to get the thingy out here. I'm half prepared. There we go. First up we have Canopy. This is by Weird City Games. It's going to be a 2-player game that lasts about 30 minutes. This is a drafting game and set collection game where you're actually drafting cards and then you're trying to build like a little tiny ecosystem, which is super adorable, in the rainforest. So Dr. Gloryhogg, what are your thoughts about this game?
So I know the designer and I know the artist, right? And not on a personal level, but I've played enough of their games that I was kind of excited. That's why I initially made the initial list in the first place. I was like, oh, I know this person. Oh, I know some of the games they've done, right? They've done a lot of work with Skybound. Vintage Trade's done a lot of amazing art. I'm like, oh, this is really cool that all this is going to be together in one thing. I'm a big fan of 2-player games.
Yeah, me
obviously
too.
Now. And I really like that it's like I like a game that's meant for 2 players and 2 players only. And I like a card drafting game. And this is a card drafting game, but with kind of like a little twist, right? A little different way to draft. This reminds me of, what did they call this in Magic? There is a way to draft Magic cards like this. It's called a tower draft. There's a special name for it, where you draft, you look at the card, and if you don't want it, you put it down, and then like another card on top of it.
Right.
And that's what you're doing here. Because if you look at that first pile, and you look at that first card, and you're like, okay, I don't want this card, you put it down, and then you add another card to it, sweetening the pot for you. Then I go to the second pile, I look at that, and I'm like, I don't want these either. Now I added a third card to it. So now the piles went from being 1, 2, or 3 cards to 2, 3, and then I'm stuck with that last pile, whatever it is. Because you can never go back. And so I really like that part.
Also a little bit of push your luck in that as well.
Oh, definitely.
The fact that as you're going down,
you don't know what you're going into.
Right, exactly. And you're hoping that you'll get what you want, or at least something that you want in one of those piles, while not strengthening your opponent too much in this game.
It's been bad for us too, David, okay? We've backed a few. A few.
Just a few. Just a couple, okay? And just a couple. Well, I really like the art in this game, and I like the fact that we're building little ecosystems because... Hold on, I'm moving something. Okay, because when you're making the little ecosystems and stuff, you're not just making the trees, but you're also making like the plant life, the wildlife, and that can actually become educational, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Well, there is the scientific names, and then there is like a little bit of flavor text of kind of like what the animals are doing and everything. But what's cool about this is that, like, for example, those red flowers you saw there, it's one of those types of card games that I like where it's like if you get 2 of the red flowers, you're going to get like 3 points. If you get a third one, oh, now you're getting negative points. If you get a fourth one, you're getting even more negative points. So you really are trying to maximize what you're getting. And like if you get a tree and you have to get the base first, obviously, then the middle, and then the top. And if you don't get the top, you're just missing out on points. And so there's a lot of different things you're trying to do. You could have a leaf cutter ant come in there and get rid of one of your cards. You're going to have like a toucan come in there. I think it's a toucan, and like let you look at a pile without picking it and then deciding which pile you want to go for. There's just a lot of different interactions you can have. Plus there's fire, there's drought, there's disease. You're trying to get water and sunlight in order for it to grow. So it's a cute theme, and I bet you there's a lot of really good interactions with your cards and comboing and trying to get that perfect score based off what you've seen. And I love me some drafting.
I know. As soon as I saw this game come up, I was like, dang it, DrGloryhogg is going to love this game so much.
I'm already giving this game, without having played it, 2 coconuts up.
Oh, no. Why did I
left
put
the
those,
coconuts
why
out.
Did I put those near them?
That is on you. I don't even know where to restore these. But you leave them out on the table, and I'm going to play with them.
Oh, no. Why did I do that? I apologize, everyone. Okay, so first off, hello, Alan. We're sorry you're so busy, but we're excited to have you in chat today, okay? So let's see here. I've been neglecting my Kickstarter pledges and reviews. That looks
That's
very
fair.
cool. 2
That's fair.
players is always harder to sell. And
Normally, I would agree.
yes and no, but
But lately,
yeah.
for some reason, 2 player has
Oddly.
been a really good sell. I don't
Oddly.
know why. But you know what? A really good crafted 2-card game or 2-player game, though, is just usually really well balanced. Does that make sense?
Oh, absolutely.
Like sometimes
yeah.
when you add like a 3rd player or a 4th player, things can get out of balance, or that person can play Kingmaker with 2. It's just like you can make a very perfected engine. And at first, I was super anti 2-player games, but then we played things like War of the Worlds, A New Wave,
Yeah.
really good. We played Skulk Hollow, really good. A lot of really good 2-player games. We enjoyed Seven Wonders Duel. There's a lot of really good 2-player only games out there.
You can balance a 2-player game much easier than you can like a 6 or 8-player game. Like
Yeah,
it's
if you-
just much easier.
It's just like a solo game. If a game is made for single player, it's much easier to just be like, okay, we're going to make this perfect for 1 player.
Right. And whenever you get into that 6-player, 8-player, whatever range, you actually start going to more of to the players to help balance the game. So you
Yeah.
have like player interaction be the balancing of the game. So you can perfect the balancing of a game in this, but on the flip side, you can also have it like very heavily skewed if you have people that don't know what they're doing. These people probably know what they're doing in Canopy
Yeah.
because they've
Well,
been
it's one of the Eisner brothers, so
Right.
like that's not going to be an issue.
they've been around before. Like that's no problem. Okay.
Prolific designers. Definitely lots of Skybound games and other games. And he
Absolutely.
did March of the Ants, which is one that I was sad
yeah.
that I missed out on because I really wanted to get March of the
March
Ants.
of the Ants, which is still on our to-get list.
I'm actually trying to win it on Board Game Spotlight right now.
Are you really?
Yeah, I'm in the comments like, come on.
Hold on.
Come on, I wanna
I'm
win
writing.
this.
I'm writing this down. I
What,
need to
March
go
of the
back
Ants?
because I totally forgot about that game,
We
and I
missed
remembered
it.
when I looked it up.
So we were supposed to get it, and it was the very last day of pledge. And I was like, hey, did you end up backing March of the Ants? She's like, wait, what? And she went to it, and it was over.
I completely forgot.
And then
yeah,
I just don't think we ended up
that was
doing
my
it.
bad on that one.
But that was one I was super interested in.
Absolutely. Okay, another game to bring to Phoenix to play. Yes, exactly. I thought this one looked good at first and saved it for further review, said Alan. Okay.
Yeah, because Alan has March of the Ants.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, Alan has done a good job of collecting all the things we want.
For real. Alan, you need to
Alan
move
does a
closer.
very good job.
So the retail edition of this is $19, and they're giving some of their proceeds to a really
Yeah, they're going to play to tree.
right to planting a tree, and it was also I can't remember that there was like some sort of women's rights into it was like a women's program where they go out and then they plant trees and stuff. I thought
Oh, I didn't really look into it. I just saw that they were
Yeah,
planting
yeah, I
trees,
was-
and that was enough for me. I don't
you
care.
were like planting trees. Yes,
I
please.
don't care if you're a man, woman, or child. Just plant,
Plant
those trees.
trees.
You could be a spider monkey for all. Okay, actually, I don't.
Well,
I'm not down with
we
spider
need
monkeys.
to plant the trees.
Their
so-
tails are too crazy. Spider monkey
God.
tails can pick
Oh,
up an
God.
egg and not crush it, or hang from a tree. That's too much power for one tail. Just saying. Spider monkeys, if they got any bigger, they'd be a real threat to humanity.
Too much power for one tail. The deluxe edition of this is $29, though. What does the deluxe edition add
So
to
it's
this?
going to give you wooden pieces. So you're going to get wooden pieces
right,
for the
which
animals.
I saw up there.
They keep scrolling. Get
I know.
this
I'm gonna get everybody
Look,
scroll
that little
sick.
bag?
There we go. Okay,
There we go.
okay, there
That
we go.
little
There we
bag.
go.
A start, like a
cute little
cardboard
start.
cutout for the start player.
That's
which is a tree
right.
token. And then it says it's got an illustrated board. So The current board is just like a green
okay.
board that has like the 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah.
And that's it. Where this one's going to give you an illustrated board.
Oh, this is pretty.
And if you look, the majority of people, like 1,000 people, are backing it at the deluxe, where 300 are backing it. And this is one that I don't think I'd be sad either way because it is a card game. And I'm a little bit more loose with those. I don't expect deluxe for card games unless it's foil. Oh, God, foil.
Oh, foil. That's all we needed, some foil trees, right?
Yeah, spider monkeys would be great omelet chefs. That is true.
Kills your trees to make a game and plant one to feel better about it. Actually,
whoa, Battle Cry.
Battle Cry.
Hashtag kill all the trees.
I think this game, they went with all components that were like, what is it, like where you reprocess components and stuff like
recycled?
that? Yeah, recycled components and everything.
She's new to recycling.
I'm sorry. Sometimes I can't find my words.
You're like super recyclers at this house, for real.
Yeah. With this game here, I believe since it is a game about the rainforest, they
went out of their way to get repurposed things, stuff like that.
100% went out of their way to make sure that you were planting trees while also not feeling bad about the cardboard that was purchased in this game, which I totally commend. Like, that's such a fantastic way to run your campaign, is making sure that you're putting out great quality content for everyone, but also you're just being environmentally friendly too, you know? I mean, we like killing the trees for components, but we probably shouldn't be killing so many trees for the components, so. So I'm 100% down with that. $19.
Do I know how to offhand recycle a roof? I don't know. We need someone to fix our roof.
For real. You know, we're making calls today about our roof because our roof is jacked up. So jacked up. I'm so upset
there
about it,
is some
everyone.
weather in Arizona.
Oh my God.
Wind
so
tears
upset.
up stuff.
So for $19, what do you think, Dr.
It seems like a
Gloryhougnd?
super easy back to me. Like,
it's $19.
Right. So for me, I'm going to be honest with you this week.
Okay.
I'm always honest, but I just want to be like super chill, right? Like,
okay.
So work has been kind of stressful and everything, and I'm sure everybody has their own work stories and everything. And then just the world has been super stressful. I feel like this is a game that you can just sit back and play. There's not a lot of like crazy expectations. You can just kind of hang out, play it, maybe while you're eating food, and just relax and enjoy it, and then try to figure out this kind of puzzle while also interacting with the other person. Because I get to watch you pick up that pile and be like, and try to read your face. I feel like this is like a really good, just kind of relaxed, chill game for $20. It seems like too easy for me.
I agree. The player interaction, here's the thing, is when you get into two-player stuff, a lot of times it becomes so much of the versus that it can become where you're...
It's a duel.
Yeah, you're dueling. You're attacking the other person. And I always appreciate a two-player game where you're not directly attacking the person.
But there's still interaction.
But you're still interacting with them and changing what they're doing. Just not in like a hostile way. Like War of the Worlds can become a hostile game because you are literally shooting these people and aliens and getting them off the board. And it can be upsetting, okay?
Right, and you're like, oh yeah, well I'm going to put tanks out here. And it can get very combative, right?
With this
Which
one,
is fine, but this one seems very just relaxed. Like there's some interplay that you can do. You can kind of set somebody up. But I didn't see a card specifically, and there could be one or two in there that was just like a take that card, like burn down your tree. Most of the time, if you end up hitting fire or something, it's your own choice. Like you did something to do that. You pushed your luck too far or something.
Oh, Petter says house buying is super stressful. Work first time, not stressful in about 9 months. Yeah, buying stuff is super stressful.
Yeah.
But I think you sold me on the chill aspect.
Yeah, it just seems like it'd be just a really relaxed one to, you know, kick back, eat some fries.
This is one that you're going to bring over to a friend's house that maybe you haven't seen in a while. You're going to talk with them, and then you're going to chill out and play this game. I'm your friend, Dr. Gloryhogg. It's okay. It's okay. But you're going to go ahead and hang out and talk with them and everything, and you're going to play this game, and it's going to be a fun game. And it's not going to be confrontational as you're playing it. You know, you're not going to work up any animosity, which is not necessarily a bad thing. We're not saying that those type of games are terrible, because I love those type of games so much.
But it is nice to kind of take a break from those every once in a while and kind of play a game. Like Arboretum is a kind of a chill game, but then there's a lot of like, oh, well, I kept this so that you wouldn't get to score that tree.
Arboretum can be very nasty at the end. You're like super... Like, I kept this card because I knew you wanted this.
Right. But this one, I feel, is a little bit different, where it's just like you could still interplay with, you could still mess with people and stuff, but not in a way that is like so direct confrontational. You just gotta kind of hang out and stuff. And like the art is pretty chill, and I don't know.
The art is pretty on it.
I want to live in a rainforest, but just without humidity.
Also,
I know that's not a thing.
I really like how they did the tree aspect on building these trees up and everything. it adds, when you have this like splayed out on the table and
you
stuff.
get to actually like build something.
Right, and you get to build up and you get to build out with like your little animals. I just love the way it looks. I love the way it looks. Like, sometimes you're just gonna love that portion of it. And they did an excellent job with that. They did such an excellent job with this.
So here's the difference.
Okay.
Excuse me. So as you can see on the screen there, that's the normal player board where it just says like the
Right.
1, 2, and 3. So it's just greenish kind of canopy. And basically you're going to get a more deluxe version of, there it is.
Right there.
You're going to get kind of a little bit more fleshed out there. And the bag is pretty cool. I'm not sure what you do with the bag. I don't know if you put cards in it or if the whole game fits in there.
Maybe you put like the little, maybe the whole game does fit in there. I love it whenever
full
everything
color
fits
travel
in
bag.
there.
I would think the whole game would just fit in there.
I love it whenever you can do that.
And then you're going to get wooden animal tokens, which, I mean, you're getting cards still, so I don't know. So it's really up to you if you want the deluxe or not, but I mean, it's really on how much you want the thing. But at least for $20, I think it'd be kind of silly to pass on
And
it.
this is like a game that I would totally play with like mom, grandma, the kid.
Right, but then I'd
like-
also play like with my hardcore Magic friend like John.
Oh yeah.
And he would be super like intensely like trying to figure out like how to win and stuff, but it would still be a good time.
And especially because there's characteristics with Magic based in that.
Yeah.
You know, with that drafting mechanism there. So this is exciting. I really like this game. I think this is a back for me.
I don't want to do spoilers, but this is the game I'm most excited about because
This is the one you're most excited about,
you know
really?
what? Listen, I have been playing super intense video games. I've had super intense work stuff. A lot of the board games we've been playing have been super intense. You know, like Gloomhaven was fun, but it was a learn, right? We had to sit down and learn that bad boy. It was not just like a pick it up before the stream and like, oh, that's how this works, cool. It was, we had to play it a couple times before we could get it to the table the first time. So I'm just kind of excited about a game that I could just play like offline, right? Just kind of chill out,
Right.
play the game.
Right.
You could have Avatar on in the background while you're playing your game. You know, you could talk. Like I said, you could be eating dinner. You could still get together and have a whole conversation. Where if you're playing some of these games that we have, it's like this. You know, where you're like, well, we were playing Merchants of the Dark Road, and it's a great game.
It's a great game.
But I was quiet
It's
during
intense,
it
though. You're
because
like
I'm trying
thinking
to
really
think,
hard.
okay, if
Because
I
there's
do
so
this
many
dive, then
choices.
this is going to switch, then this happens. But I need to get this before I go here, and there's just so many layers that it ends up being where you can't help but spend most of your brain power on thinking, where sometimes a game like this is just kind of chill, to just kind of play out and still do something without feeling like you're like,
So with our comments here, find one of those rainforest cafes and then move in, and
there you
then
go.
you can play Canopy, right? That's what I'm saying.
well, because I was saying that I want to live in a rainforest but without the humidity, and that would be the place to do it. There's probably a closed one at our mall, because all of our malls in Arizona are closing.
It could be more chill if the cards were made out of hemp, David says, and I agree. That would be really
It'd
cool.
be even cooler if the bag was made out of marijuana. Then you could just smoke
then
the bag.
you'd be super chill, I guess. Petter, I think the whole game fits in there, yes.
Yeah, I think so.
And does not like bags for games. And I want to know, okay, hold on, maybe why. I'll go back down to the comments for this. Okay,
Harder
so
to store. I like being able to set stuff out more neatly. If it's in a bag, I forget about it in a drawer somewhere. I can see
that makes sense.
We've had that issue with smaller games where they get stacked up and you kind of almost forget about them. But the thing about a smaller game is you can just kind of like, I would throw it in that bag to take with me to a convention or something.
Oh, absolutely.
And it would remind me because it's in that bright bag, right? And I
Right.
could just easily throw it in a pocket or something like that. So I think that would be what I'd use it for. I don't think I'd store it in the bag on my shelf all the time.
So Alan says, I'm not initially impressed by the deluxe, and you know how I almost always go deluxe.
Yeah, the deluxe it's cool. I don't know if I'm in for the deluxe. I think I just want like a nice chill $20 a week where I don't feel like we spent $1 million on Kickstarters. So, you know.
Yeah, I think I'm in for the $19 one on this one here because I want to keep this game small, compact. Like, I don't need the extra stuff, but it seems like a really, really, really great game.
Like this is a game that if it got delivered today, I would probably play it today.
Right now.
Where like if we got
right
Role
now.
Play Adventures today, I'd be like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait until Saturday when I have a whole day to like learn it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where this is when I could get it. If it came in today during the day, I'd be like, oh, on my lunch break, I'll read the rules and figure out how it works and just get to play it and have a good time.
Okay, moving on. I'm so excited. So that's your pick. Oh, you know what? All of you in chat, are you guys backing this? I want to know. I want to know who all is backing this. I'm excited about it. I think I want to back that for the 19 for sure. Next up here we have Intrepid. Now,
Space.
Intrepid is by
The Final Frontier.
Uproarious Games. This is for 1 to 4 players. It should last about 60 to 90 minutes. This is actually just a bunch of talking, so let me move over here and just scroll on down here. So with this game here, upon looking through this, I don't think you could see the majesticness of this game, okay? This is a cooperative game where you are on the space station, and all of you are going to be operating different astronauts in this game. And all of your astronauts, and they use asymmetrical a lot in this, but it's not necessarily asymmetrical. It's more like a...
Variable player power?
It's more like a root. This is the space version, a cooperative space version of Root, okay?
But Root is asymmetrical because you have different endgame goals.
Yes, but this one here, you have the same endgame goal.
So this would technically be variable player powers.
No, they're not variable player powers because each individual player operates completely differently and has its own individual engine. There's another game that I can think of. What was it? We played it with Meeple Lady at the Arizona Game Fair. What was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Where everybody's building their own engines and everything in the game, and then you're trying to trade with players and everything. That is what this game is, except you're cooperatively making sure...
Are you talking about Sidereal Confluence?
Yes, like Sidereal Confluence, everyone.
I didn't play that one, so...
Okay, so more like Sidereal Confluence, except in Sidereal Confluence, you have your own, like for yourself. With this particular game, you are still trying to maintain the space station, and you're trying to make sure that it just doesn't get wrecked. Like, you don't die, okay?
Vincent just came in. Act natural.
Oh my gosh. Hey, Vincent. How's it going?
I like Alan. He says, you're both right. Good call, Alan.
Yes!
Alan's clearly been in a long-term relationship before. You're both right. He didn't make either one of us angry. Thank you, Alan.
So, with this here, like I said, they say asymmetrical a lot, but I personally don't believe you can do asymmetrical without different endgame goals. But I don't know another way to describe it because it's cooperative and they're completely different
The reality
players.
is that game companies did come up with a quick, catchy way to let people kind of have an idea of what their game is, but they don't have the time to say, you're all going to have the same end game goal, and it's cooperative, but technically the way you play your little engine is different, and that's too long.
This is the really, really cool part of this game. You don't have player turns, Dr. Gloryhogg. I don't know how much you dug into this one, because I'm so excited about this one, everyone. Everyone, this is my pick of the week, okay? You don't have specific player turns. Basically, you go ahead and unveil what's happening on the ship, and you're like, okay, we need to fix this. And this person maybe goes, okay, I can do this with these elements and make this, and then maybe I can give these to you, and then you can do something with them. And then that other player goes, okay, yeah, you know, if I do this, and then this player over here goes, wait, if I do this first, then I can do that. And it becomes a collective, collaborative working system as you're playing the game.
It's not real time, Alan. It's kind of more just figuring out what you're going to do with your dice, right? So everyone kind of has like their own little puzzle. So here's the thing, though, that I heard that was a potential concern, is that if you mismatch like the complexity level of that player, right, with the complexity level of that faction, which I say faction, but it's really like, you know, Malaysia, Russia, Germany, stuff like that. If you mismatch them, it can get in a situation, which happens to us a lot, where I'm done with my turn in 60 seconds and you take 4 minutes. Now, that's not an extreme amount of time, but if you're like the one who gets done like that and you're watching everybody else for 4 minutes, that can really make a game drag.
That's true, but you're going to run across the same sort of issues that you have with Root, where because each faction is completely different, then you're going to be teaching different games, like a completely different game to every single player in a way.
I think this is going to be much easier to teach than Root because you're just manipulating your dice differently. It's not completely different, where Root is 100% different. Like, it's 4 different games.
Right.
And then everybody has to be good at them in order to balance each other, where this one is not like that.
Yeah,
it's still co-op.
This one is a little bit better because of that. Exactly. So if you were a newer player, I would still be able to help you instead of having that feeling of like, oh no, like I can't discuss what I have in my hand because I'll show other players and then they'll know what I have in my hand.
It's not necessarily beating the clock, Alan. It's stuff like you have to make sure you have enough resources like food, water, air, or you just lose. And then there's going to be some kind of scenario, like stuff's going to happen. Like an asteroid can hit the ship and sit in space. So think about like a space disaster movie, right? Like any type of like, I don't know, like this is going to be a bad example, but Armageddon or, you know, Event Horizon, where stuff is going to happen while you're in space that's going to mess with the space station. And you have to like somehow make, like, I don't know, get some bubble gum out, get some super glue and be like, I made an air patch. We're totally okay now. We're not leaking air. Before you get sucked through the hole.
Petter says, I looked it up. Word is still asymmetrical that you want. Okay. So as far as asymmetrical goes, just because it's hard. It becomes a big line between asymmetrical versus variable player powers. And I know I have like a line set in my head on which one's different.
And none shall cross.
And I feel like this is like completely in the middle of it, but I totally get it, Petter.
Sam said he was totally blown away, is what the Kickstarter says.
Oh, right. Oh,
know
I
Sam.
thought you were talking about in the comments. I was looking down here. I was like, who's Sam?
We know Sam. You know Sam.
All right, so Dr.
Not Healy,
Gloryhogg,
it's the other Sam.
what is your take of this game? Because I am in love with this game.
So
everyone.
you know this one made it to list because I knew you'd like it.
Ah.
It seemed okay. It seems
How dare you?
like my good
How
friend,
dare you?
like my good friend Petter says, art-wise, this is the exact opposite of Canopy. It's very stark. It's like you're in an Apple store in space, I guess, but with like less white, more gray. It is very stark looking. It's a lot of dice. Now I know the dice are like, you know, they say don't let the dice fool you because you're manipulating them and everything like that. I don't know. It just didn't. It's a co-op, which I like co-ops. I just don't know. I would have to play this one, I think, before I could really give you a good opinion.
Okay.
I just wasn't sold based off the Kickstarter alone. If that makes sense.
Okay.
And then space being like one of my least favorite themes, it's like, I don't know. I wasn't excited about it as you are, honestly.
Really?
I'm in on Canopy because I just want to chill. This does not seem like a chill one. This seems like a sit down and be like, okay, I need to have the dice look like this. Oh, what are we
No
going to do?
samurai, no cowboys, I'm
Yeah.
out.
Yeah, no samurai, no cowboys. I'm out.
So the
this
art-
one seems like super intense. It makes me feel like this is kind of what I'm looking to get out of, but I'm going to get that out of Nemesis instead.
Also, best
No, don't
quote
you
ever.
also
Best quote ever
Don't
from
you also
Bubba
me?
Stalker.
I want to finish saying
Okay, you finish
that
saying,
I
and then I'll
want
talk about the best quote
intense space play. I feel like I'm going to get that more out of Nemesis than this. This has got more dice, which I think will take me out of the theme.
ever. Intense space play.
I
Got
think
it.
the dice will take me out of the theme. Now go ahead with your Bubba Skullcap.
This game is exactly what the world needs right now. It shows the value that people different than us have and how our differences ensure our survival. Add that to a well-designed cooperative dice mechanic, and you have yourself a strategic gold mine.
I'm sure that sold you. You love the word strategic, and you love the words differences. I don't know.
The finest words I've ever heard, Bubba Stallcup. Like, man, Bubba, that was great.
Oh, that Horizon theme would be great.
There's not another, reviewer. A lot of reviewers, you go down, they're like, this game is amazing. The bestest amazing game
No, that
ever.
was a good quote for
And
a game,
I was like,
for sure.
dang, Bubba. Showing everybody up like that.
Dang, Bubba. Hey, girl.
Okay. I know we were talking a little bit about the art. The art is being upgraded, as you can see here, to make it look more like little terminals and everything. So the art is not final in this game, everyone.
Oh, that does help. See, I didn't see that. That's good.
Yeah.
Because I was watching like some gameplay and everything. So like when I look at it, I initially look at the trailer, right? And I get kind of a brief overview, add it to the list to see which one she's going to pick. Then I go back and I look at it again and I try to look at like the pricing, if they've done other Kickstarters before, and then like watch a little bit of gameplay, right? Or a tutorial if they have it, and kind of get like a deeper dive into it, and then see who's reviewed it, what they said, and everything like that. And I missed that part right there about the art.
Yeah, because it was down at the very
It does help.
last
I don't know. I'm probably going to be wrong about it, but I'm just not feeling it.
Okay, so let's hear. I'm not sure what this adds for me. I like Root. I don't see me wanting to play this over Root, says Alan. Okay.
Boom,
so,
you compared it to Root a lot, and you just got shut down.
Here's the thing. This game...
Say it in your Princess Leia voice.
This game becomes an experience for everyone.
And it's our only hope.
It is our only hope, absolutely. Absolutely. No, our only hope to work together cooperatively.
Obi-Wan, Intrepid, you're our only hope.
No, this game is going to give you a really, really unique experience. And I love the fact that this game is built around that experience. It's built around making that experience happen. And there are very few games that can create an experience for you. Like Dead of Winter creates an experience for me because of the way it's designed, where you may or may not have that hidden player in there that's trying to like foil everything, and like it makes it so it feels like you have those last moments. You know what I'm saying?
So,
like,
okay, so I agree with that. Dead of Winter is a good example.
where you get that feeling as you're going along. You're like, can I trust everybody? Can I not trust anybody? This is like the end of the world. We have zombies here. Should I save this person? Should I not? Could they be against us? Could I not? Like,
so here's my counterpoint to that.
okay.
So with a game being thematic, right, and you want to feel like you're in that world, so Gloomhaven has a good example.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun playing Gloomhaven. Maybe it's because we were only a couple campaigns into it, because we played it about 5 times before the stream.
Right.
We didn't get into the full Gloomhaven thing. Although I enjoyed it, there's enough complexity there that it pulled me out of the game a couple times where I had to really think about like oh wait, did we trigger this and then I need to do that?
Right.
So that can pull you out of it. A game for me has to be both thematic and hard enough, but then also like meld it in a way where it seems like what you're doing makes sense. So for me, like Maximum Apocalypse is a much better idea because it's not overly complicated, but it's still intense. You're still gonna lose. We lose that game a lot. But it's good enough that I feel like I'm really into it. And every time we discover a new tile, I'm like, oh no, mutants! You know, like I'm like worried about it. See, really worried about it. So I mean,
Zombies on a space station. You say I'm in.
And I feel like there's gonna be some complexity in something like Nemesis, but the overall dread of being in that game and going through it and not knowing what everyone's up to adds to that level of complexity. Where this one, I feel like with the dice and stuff, I just feel like too much dice is just going to take me out. I feel like it's going to take me out of the game.
It's not about having the dice on there. It's about how you can manipulate them through other people's engines and stuff like that. So, although the dice are dice in there, they represent something else in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I know. I'm just telling you how I feel, and you cannot make me have a different opinion. Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh, so angry today.
Have a seat. You can hang out.
All right, let's take a look at some of our comments here. Yeah, I was going to say between this and Nemesis seems to be much more interesting. Plus, horror versus science. Bestest game ever. Says Vincent, question mark. Let's see here. I'm not sure what this adds for me. Oh yeah, okay, we already talked to you, Alan. Jeez, no. If I want to chuck dice and play a co-op game, I go for Pandemic: The Cure. Pandemic also creates an experience as well, because as you're flipping over those cards, you have that feeling of dread within you. The experience of this is the experience of friendship and cooperativeness. Okay? Not the feeling of dread, and maybe that's why it is.
The space cat from Nemesis makes an appearance. Not the space cat from the movie Aliens, because that cat is copyrighted.
Let's see here. What else do we have?
So Petter is saying that Gloomhaven definitely has 1 or 2 scenarios each time with a new character where you have to learn it again, but then it's very thematic for him. And I agree. I think you have to get into it more. And that's why I said Gloomhaven, specifically Jaws Line, because we only got to play it 5 times. And we were still learning something new each time. Once you've actually in the scenarios and you're like 3 or 4 in, I think, yeah, it's really going to be easy to get into it.
Gloomhaven does not create an experience for me. Gloomhaven is just a dungeon crawl style game, and I don't have an experience with that. Whereas,
well, think about something like Spirit Island. That one can give you a really good experience. I remember when I was playing the ocean, I was like washing up onto the waves and like dragging the invaders into the sea. Like, I don't know, I felt excited about that.
That's closer, but it doesn't make you have a feeling. And that's the difference, is whenever a game can actually make you have actual feelings whenever you're going through it, that becomes the experience of it.
Are you saying you're hooked on a feeling?
I apologize, everyone. I apologize.
Hooked on a feeling.
And sorry. I am 100% down for
so much
games that give you a feeling, because I feel like whenever a game can spark an actual emotion in you, like that is a very, very amazing and special thing, because not every game can do that. Okay.
Alan's like, Kat, have you played this one? She is not, but based off the Kickstarter, she has an emotion.
Listen.
She's very emotional right now.
Looked at
Didn't we just talk about how you should be a waterbender, but you said
everything.
Last night we decided my kid is a firebender, I would be an earthbender, and that you would be. I said you'd be a waterbender.
I said I'd be the Avatar.
No, I can't be a waterbender. I don't have any emotion. You're getting all choked up about a Kickstarter page.
I'm gonna be the Avatar.
That's very emotional.
I get to do all the things. I'm a cat bender. See?
That's true.
The cat bender, okay?
You make my blood boil, so that's blood bending, which is a water bending.
All right, everyone.
Yes, so, this one is funded, for sure.
Yes, absolutely. So,
Alan says just pack and relax. Yeah, she's intense, right? I think she's, realistically, what she's trying to do, she's trying to sell me on it, because she knows if I'm like 100% not into it, it's just not going to get played. And so I think she's just really trying to hard sell me to it.
It's tough.
I want to try this one.
Yeah, it's tough to sell.
I'm not convinced that I have to have it. And it's $60. And you know what? We've spent a lot of money on some really amazing games. And this one I just don't have the same level of excitement for. And that's okay. I'm not going to have the same level of excitement for all of them. I'm really looking forward to Canopy and just having a chill game.
So Petter says it's easy to bend things that have no bones, like cats.
Oh my God, it's true. They have no
It's
bones.
a space game, Cat. Good luck. That's right. See, it's a space game, and you know how I love the space.
No, he's saying good luck trying to get me to play it.
Well, I know.
Hey, I was
but,
all in
like,
on Nemesis, so that's a space game.
I love the space.
It's got to have the right thing. I think it's honestly, I feel like this is going to be more of like a puzzle than it is going to be like a thematic space game for me.
Listen, they even consulted somebody from NASA for this game. Okay?
Exactly. I would play Clank in space with you.
There's so much nerdiness happening in this. So awesome. So awesome.
What about, I'd play Starcadia Quest with you.
All right, everyone. Let me know if you're backing this game in the comments. Dr. Gloryhogg, would you back this game?
No. I would want to, as Greg would say,
Everyone,
try
I
it
back
before
this.
I buy it.
I want to back this so bad.
Oh my gosh.
I
Kitty,
need support.
this cat supports you.
All right. Moving on. So 100% a puzzle if they consulted NASA, says Petter.
I think it looks interesting. I just don't think it works for me. And I'm giving you...
the cleaner from NASA.
I'm
so
giving
sad.
That would be funny. I'm just going to have to give you my opinion and if it works for me or not.
That's totally legit, Dr. Gloryhogg. I completely understand your thoughts and your thought process for this. I just know that I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited about
you
the
validating
experience.
the fact that I can have my own thoughts.
You can always have your own thoughts, Dr. Gloryhogg.
And they can
You
always be wrong.
are a person.
And they can always
and
be
lots
wrong.
of people are wrong, but I'm the avatar and I'm always right.
Wow.
So pass, not backing it. Oh my goodness, everyone, you're breaking my heart.
This one has a few backers.
This one
3,000.
has just a couple backers, everyone. Okay. Next up is Role Player Adventures by Thunderworks Games. This is for 1 to 4 adventures, and it's going to last about 90 to 150 minutes on this game. And this is probably the closest RPG style board game that you can get. Maybe there's a couple. There's one other I can think of that we've funded quite recently that I feel like is also really close. But with this one here, that's exactly what they were going for. You can also import your characters from the original role player game, which I thought was really unique. But you're going to be going through 3 different supplement guides with stories with a choose your own adventure style setting. And you're going to be doing everything from picking different things in this choose your own adventure style, where you're also going to be doing skill checks as you go through. You're going to be fighting. Like, it is set up like an RPG style adventure. Dr. Gloryhogg, what are your thoughts on this?
So real quick, I wanted to say, what was the other game that we recently backed that is RPG-ish like this?
The Vampire the Masquerade one,
okay.
Chapters. Yeah, because that one was
Is
so
very
heavily
RPG-ish.
RPG-ish. It was almost like they put the RPG onto a board game.
So
like,
this one, I feel like our audience is hyped up a bunch,
super
right?
hype. So much hype for
And
this.
so I was really looking forward to it and everything.
Yeah.
My first impressions is it does seem like it ventures super far into the RPG land. And I mean,
Which is very cool.
Right, but I have a lot of RPGs, and I just don't know where this fits for me. So, and I know I sound like a grumpy old man today, and I'm going to be turning older like in another 2 days, but I don't know where this fits in our game library. So I have played Cartographers. I thought it was okay. I'm not a huge roll and write fan.
I love Cartographers.
I played Lockup, which I thought was a pretty solid worker placement, but it was in that middle. Like, I didn't have to go buy a copy of it after we played it, but I did definitely enjoy it. So I like the idea of the world, and I like the idea of kind of a combo world, even if the games are all very, very different from each other. I have not played Role Player, and maybe that would change my mind. I don't see... I'm just not seeing in this one. You guys have to convince me. I'm not sure where the hype is on this particular one.
Okay.
It looks cool. Like, it looks pretty. The art's nice. I like the fact that it's combined with the other role player game and some other things like that. I just don't see the excitement in it. Like, I'm not sure if I understand how the mechanics work 100%. I'm glad it's funded, and I would be glad to play somebody else's copy. I don't know if I could drop $100 on this right now with the way I'm feeling about it currently.
So with comments here, we said, Kat, you know what? You should get your own Kickstarter account so you can secretly back
She
things
already
like
does.
this.
Which is why games like Coloma did not get backed when I want to, but she does all the backing, so I don't even look at it.
Ellen also says, I like role players, so trying to see how this grows on that system.
That's
Petter
kind of
says,
how I feel, like what Alan's saying is I'm not sure how this grows upon it.
I'd say it's close-ish to an RPG, says Petter. I'm not sure it's a ton closer than things like Sword and Sorcery, Gloomhaven, and more.
Okay.
Let's see here. What else do we got?
That's good to know.
Petter also says, very hyped, and I feel like this is an RPG light in a lighter story. That's a pretty good description. That's a pretty good description of it.
I got called a whippersnapper by Vincent. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry.
Role player seems to be too expensive for what you get, maybe for retail. I think it's all the dice. So if you notice in Intrepid,
there's a lot of dice.
Intrepid has a lot of dice as well. And so I was looking at the price on that, and I was like, why is this so expensive? And then I was like, oh, because you have like a gajillion dice up in here.
And dice do get expensive.
Are expensive.
Especially if they're custom.
It's a bunch of plastic things that you're putting in there, and it adds a lot. It adds a lot.
Weight, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So let's see here. Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of agree with Johnny that it seems pretty expensive for what you're actually getting. And so I'm just, without having played role player, I just don't know if I can jump in on this.
The other thing with this one, you're also paying for the people who make the stories. And I think that that particular thing gets not accounted for sometimes in games like these, is you still have to have writers writing books worth of choose your own adventure style things, which means that they're going to branch into X amount of different things with many, many different endings. That takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of writing.
Right, and I love that.
And you still got to pay those people.
No, and that's fair.
You know?
Well, I mean, we paid $100 for Clank Legacy, and we already had Clank, so it was like, but we also kind of knew we liked the base mechanics of the game, and that's why going through it was really good. This one, so what Petter's saying is that the storyline behind this is really, really good. And I don't know the storyline, so that is definitely affecting my overall decision. But since I don't know it, I'm not sure this is the spot for me to jump in at.
Right, so we have not played the original role player, and for the very important reason that it is a dice rolling game, and I do not like dice rolling games, so therefore I do not play dice rolling games, because I know the majority of them I'm not going to like.
Yeah, because even like Dice Throne, which is one I love, it's still hard to get you to play it.
Do not like Dice Throne. It's a beautiful game. I will play it with DrGloryhogg whenever, you know,
But it's not one that you're excited about the same way.
But it's not one that I'm jumping in going, yeah, let's play Dice Throne, because I just don't like playing that game. Even though you can have manipulating dice and stuff, it's just not enough for me.
And the only reason why we backed Dice Throne Adventures is specifically because it's a co-op.
The adventure portion of it, too.
Right, and then because it's a co-op, so like my high sixes that I roll all the time work to her advantage instead of it just always being her rolling ones and me rolling sixes.
That's totally different. It's a dice manipulation game like Trevin. How dare you? It's totally different.
This does seem like it has a lot of dice manipulation. I'm kind of curious. We had talked a little bit beforehand about, like, most RPGs have a pass-fail. Like, you have to hit over a certain percentage.
Yes, the pass-fail.
This one's like, you have to have a red 3. And you're like, holy crap, how do I get a red 3?
So, this is my problem that I have with the game. Because I think that there's story building in the world. That's fantastic. I love the choose your own adventure.
I thought you don't have emotion. You have a problem already?
I love the choose your own adventure style aspects of it in games. I think that's always super fantastic. I think it's cool how they brought an RPG to a board game system, and they're getting RPG players to play this game, and then they're getting board gamers to play RPGs eventually, you know, like they're intermingling stuff, which I always love. I love that as well. The part that's going to be hard for me in this game is that the dice are not set up as a pass-fail system. It is set up as that colored dice with an exact amount of pips, and then you can use cards to go ahead and manipulate those. But I am concerned with how excited I'm going to be about rolling those dice and seeing if I get the right numbers or not. Because that just makes me upset. It makes me upset just thinking about it.
So Alan is saying that it feels like you build your character in role player and then you actually get to use the character, which I think that's cool.
That is very cool.
But he says this one feels like that big chip theory game, which I'm assuming you were talking about Too Many Bones.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Right, and that's true. It might be a little bit kind of like that. I don't know. We've covered a lot of adventure games. I feel like this game is very well produced, and if you're already a fan of the world, you're going to enjoy it. But just like anything else in nerddom, you can't love every franchise. And so I'm not in love with this franchise yet. I've enjoyed the 2 games I played in the series.
Right.
But neither one of them were like must-haves, play all the time for me.
Right.
So I'm just not in love with this storyline. Where, like, you know, I'm more excited about some other games that have like a storyline that I'm actively following, and I'm like, I can't wait for the next scenario to drop or whatnot.
That's right, because what was it, Lockup we also played that we really liked? We liked the Lockup.
We liked it, but it wasn't like a top. it wasn't a top 10 worker placement for
But
us. It was probably a top 50, but not a top 10.
There's a ton of people that really, really, really love lockup and the way it works, and it's a good game.
Oh, and I like the mechanics of sometimes you put one down face down and all that. Like, it was fun to play, but it wasn't one I had to go buy right afterwards.
The fact that it's not a pass-fail is actually better, I think, for you, Gloryhound, because you have to manipulate, and you can't just roll. Maybe you'll get lucky, but you're swapping dice at completely at times.
Okay. So Petter's saying that since you're manipulating dice, which, you know what, we've enjoyed manipulating dice games like stuff like Fantastic Factories. But also, to be fair, the games that have dice that you manipulate that you enjoy typically are the shorter games. Like, I think you're okay with Fantastic Factories because it's a 30-minute game.
It's
if Fantastic
very small,
Factories went to like an hour and a half or 2 hours.
No, I couldn't play that for that long.
It's just too much dice.
That would be.
Too much time. But then, like, you know, technically Intrepid has a lot of the exact same types of things, and it's a super long game. Just saying. I feel like
we've already finished talking about Intrepid.
I feel like this and Intrepid actually share a lot of similarities. So, I don't know. I'm surprised that you were more in for Intrepid
you have
than
powers
this.
to manipulate, and sometimes you need low, and sometimes you need high numbers in role player.
I can't do that then. I only roll high. I can't roll low.
But role player adventures. Okay, so
you want to talk about? Sorry, real quick. You want to talk about rolling low? Whenever you need to roll low, I just cannot do it. It is impossible. I have made 8 noise with 1 die before that has a 1, 2, or 3 on it. I have rolled the Omen in Betrayal on the 2nd turn. It was only our 2nd Omen card. I rolled it and I was like, okay, well, the haunt happened. If you want someone to roll low, you need to find somebody else.
Okay, so Johnny McNabb says, the manipulating dice takes both of you to do, so it's going to have a problem with Alpha Gamer.
Where like one person's kind of in charge of, you know.
Where you're like, oh, use your cards because of this and stuff. Where you start getting told what to do on that.
Which we try really hard to stay away from that because I naturally have that personality. I was a team leader in one of the wars I went to, so I'm used to taking over and being in charge of a situation. So we try really hard. She has to give me like this look and be like, I'm gonna play my cards. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you play your turn. I will let you finish. Sorry. And so we have to like really worry about that to a certain degree because it's my natural tendency to want to take over a situation and be all loud and stuff.
This game is going to be, I think this game is going to be a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. I think this game is going to be a lot of fun. I just don't think this game is particularly for me as a player. I really love the fact that you can import your characters from the other game, the role player game. Like, that's amazing. How much fun is that? I love that they're introducing people to RPGs. I love that they have the choose your own adventure style story. I mean, they have like little, the little characters that you could add to your little dice bags and stuff like that. The familiars and everything. Like, they have so much story building and just really cuteness going on in this game. Maybe cute isn't the best word for it, but fun going on in this game.
Whimsical.
Whimsicaliness.
Like, where if you, like, in this world, if you woke up and there was a goblin in your house, you wouldn't pee yourself. You'd be like, oh, gosh.
Oh, dang
Get
goblin.
out of here. Stop stealing my socks.
Get out of here.
This guy. Who is this guy?
Jeez.
Oh, is that Jeff? Jeff. Get out of here, Jeff. A rapscallion. Whimsical.
But for me, I'm not sure if this is a match for me because dice manipulation and dice games are tough for me. I either like them or they don't. Sometimes it's a very tiny, tiny little aspect of the game that I don't like because of the dice manipulation. Maybe it's not balanced as well because of something, or I don't have enough of something else to do in the game as opposed to the dice manipulation. Like, it's a touchy area for me. And I know all of you are going back to Intrepid. That's totally different. It's working together. Okay?
Is it?
It is.
Together too, right? Isn't this a co-op?
Yes and no, because this is a co-op,
Whoa.
but you're going to go through the game as adventures and stuff. There's a different feeling whenever you're going through a game as an adventurer from all sorts of RPGs. You're in it for yourself, and you know you are. In every RPG, you're in it for yourself, everyone.
Oh. Yikes.
That's how it goes.
Okay, that's fair, and I can understand your opinion. Like I said, for me personally, I feel like this is probably going to be a pretty good game, but I would have to play it first, just because I'm not familiar with the world. And for me, the price point is the main thing that's stopping me. Is like, I can't see
$100.
spending $100 on this when I I already knew I liked the basis of the game, and I was just going to get to play more of it. It just seemed amazing to me. So you kind of have to love the game in order to want to drop the money, I feel like.
DrGloryhogg, would you back that game?
Not this time. I am excited to try to play it, and I do want to get my hands on Role Player in the near future, but I would not back it at this point.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to say this is a not back for me, but I love the idea. I loved what they did with it. And if you are interested in that game, make sure and go back it, you know.
If you are interested in this game, talk to Petter, because Petter seems to have a strong affinity for this game.
Overall, lots of people are excited about it.
Yeah, and I think I'm glad it's out in the game space. I think it'll be a good game. I just don't think it is just not hitting the right notes for us at this time.
That's right. So, let's hear. I'm having issues as well. Yes, the internet is being weird. Sorry. Apologies, everyone, but we're about ready to wrap everything up anyway. So, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our content. And we will be on later today. What are we going to be on later today with DrGloryhogg?
We're just going to mess around and play some video games tonight.
Just play some video games, huh?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like fun. I'd be down with that.
Yeah, we're just gonna stream some video games just to chill out and hang out for a Friday night.
Someone playing Fortnite. Yes, we are.
Well, no, Battlecry is saying our kid playing Fortnite, and yes, I'm sure our kid is.
Well, yeah.
But we might be playing it later tonight.
We'll probably be playing it later tonight. If you want to see us wreck some people in duos and duels, or just talk to us.
Petter has a strong affinity, but is not backing it, but because he has a friend who's backing it, which is my favorite type of Kickstarter pledge, which is your friend backs it.
The friend
which is why Greg's not on the show anymore, because he never backs the games.
The Glory Child is using too much bandwidth. That's right.
She used up all the Wi-Fi, and I'm upset.
You know what? That happens frequently too. When we get online to stream, we're like, don't you use the internet. Don't you use it.
There is something to be said with everyone working from home and this noontime, the internet has gotten worse.
It has gotten worse because
just more people are using it for work right now.
Yeah.
Work.
Mm-hmm. Work. Everyone, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe to our content. Ring that bell so you can get notified whenever we do fun stuff. What else? Do we have anything else that we want to talk about being played? Sunday we have...
We're going to play Unmatched Jurassic Park.
Unmatched Jurassic Park.
I get to be Raptors.
DrGloryhogg's so happy about Raptors.
I'm pro Raptor. And also pro T-Rex. It's very hard to for them to coexist.
You don't have one that's better? Everyone in the chat, Raptors or T-Rex?
I'm also pro Diplosaurus, the one that spits, but I've also learned since that movie that they don't actually spit, that's probably a myth.
Pro T-Rex because Raptors are a bunch of bunk.
I'm pro Indominus Rex because it's a T-Rex and a Raptor combined.
If something can go ahead and open up doors and try to get me, I say nope. Get rid of that thing. Get rid of it.
I'm pro Raptors. We would just need to make them bigger so we could ride them. Did you not see Jurassic World when they were running next to the motorcycle? That was the most high five American thing I've ever seen in my life. I just wanted to shoot some six guns up in the air and be like, woo, America! Because he's like, wah, wah, the Raptor's like.
So let's see here. We got meow. Well, thank you, Ellen. You know, Wesley says meow back. Yeah, Wesley says meow back.
And the cat loves you all too.
Oh, the cat does. She loves being on camera. Every time I flick on the camera switch, immediately she runs in here and is like, oh my God, it's time for pets.
If you're looking for something to do, looks like Games of Fire is going to be on Twitch tonight if you want to play a game and chat.
Yeah, Games of Fire. What time are you going to be on Twitch tonight? Let us know in the chat so maybe we can join up and everything and come see you. That'd be awesome.
But yeah, I think we're going to play some Fortnite tonight, around 6 p.m.
I think so. 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Just for some chill time.
We just want to hang out, and you guys are free to talk about whatever you want.
Yeah.
Whatever geeky stuff you want with us. It's going to be awesome.
Anything. As long as it's got the geek.
As long as it's got the geek?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can talk about, I guess, non-geeky stuff.
I can hear the ocean.
I can make a nice pancake. So, if you want a pancake recipe, I guess I can bring that.
I can use these for everything. Hello. Hello. Wesley, don't bump our camera.
Oh, Wesley, don't show him your butt. That's rude. That's so rude. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. 7 o'clock Central Time. I'm writing that down.
Which one?
Ooh, written down, okay?
You are not a winner, kitty. I was playing the shell game with the cat.
All right. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us in chat today. And we will see you guys on Sunday. We love you very much. We appreciate you being here and talking about Kickstarters with us. DrGloryhogg, can I back Intrepid? I'm so sad. So sad.